When they stopped talking, Merida looked around a sapling to see what was happening. By the outlines, it was easy to tell who was who. A young woman leaned forward, her hands on Tristan's chest. She looked up at him, her chin hitched. "Do not toy with me, Tristan Ross. I can inform my father you made advancements, and he will insist you marry me." The girl's tone was becoming harsh. "Why else are you out here?" Merida took several steps backward and let out a loud sigh. "Tristan!" she hissed out, as if attempting to whisper. "Are you here?" Pretending not to notice the couple that had now stepped apart, she made a soft sound as if calling a dog. "Tristan!"
"I am here,"
he replied in a confused tone.
"Merida?"
"This is insulting!" His young pursuant huffed and walked a short distance away. "Ah, there you are." Merida made a play of hurrying toward him, as the young woman had stopped to see what would happen next. She took his rough hand and tugged him back to where she and Paige had been. There was a bench that would hide them from the young woman's view. "Sit." Although he frowned down at her once Merida sat, he lowered next to her and let out a breath as if relieved.
"Had we agreed to meet here?"
"Mother says men are simple beings. I am beginning to understand what she means." He cocked his head and narrowed his eyes.
"Why are you out here?"
"I'm on a rescue mission, it seems. First Paige, who needed desperately to leave the women's sitting room. Now I rescued ye from an overly zealous, pampered girl." His gaze flattened.
"I did not require rescuing."
When he looked in the direction where the girl had gone, Merida fought not to grin. "I'm so very sorry for the intrusion. I see now. It was a game between you." She jumped to her feet. "I will retrieve her and explain my actions were one-sided." His hand shot out and took her by the wrist, yanking her none so gently to sit again.
"Nay, 'tis not necessary. I have no desire to bed a lass that is barely out of nappies."
"Very well," Merida said, suddenly fully aware she was alone with a warrior in the middle of the garden, hidden from view. Unsure what to do, she decided it was best to discuss his health. "Have your wounds fully healed?"
"Aye."
"Good." She fiddled with her skirt. "Perhaps it is safe to leave the garden now."
"Why are you here at the Mackenzies'?"
Tristan asked, once again taking her wrist to ensure she didn't flee.
"'Tis a talk between lairds about war. 'Tis no place for a lass like yourself."
She wondered how much to reveal, and decided it didn't matter. The reason for her being there would be exposed sooner or later, and she preferred to tell Tristan like this, one-on-one. "My parents hope to marry me to a Mackenzie." He nodded.
"I'm surprised to find you're not betrothed as yet. You're a beautiful woman."
His compliment took her aback. Tristan Ross did not seem the type to pay compliments. He appeared to be a man used to women approaching him. Merida was willing to bet he rarely had to pursue a woman. Yet she smiled, liking that he did compliment her. "Thank you. My parents have been rather patient with me, allowing me freedom for as long as possible." Tristan nodded. She studied his face for a moment. He was handsome, however not in a classic sense. His nose had been broken before, probably in battle. With cropped hair and a light feathering of a beard, the warrior was alluring. She knew his body. It was formidable, although scarred. It occurred to Merida that she'd yet to reveal her identity, and at the realization she shivered. "I remember ye, from when your father visited mine."
"You must be cold."
For a moment, Tristan seemed to have his mind elsewhere, and didn't ask about her clan, and she was thankful for it. Suddenly, she needed to get away. First, he was a warrior. At the knowledge that she was sister to the man who'd killed his father, there was no way to know his reaction. "I best go." She'd tugged her free hand from his grasp and stood. "I expect we will see each other at morning fast." He nodded and stood as well.
"Where do I know you from? You do look familiar now that I think about it."
He studied her. "I am curious," he began, but she interrupted, pointing at the sky. "There, did you see it?" Following her line of vision, he watched as several stars fell from the sky, leaving a trail of light as they moved. "'Tis magical, are they not?" Suddenly forgetting her plan to escape, Merida continued to watch the sky, in case another star would do the same.
"Ye are more interesting to me than the stars."
Tristan took her chin and turned her face toward him. Then, without warning, he kissed her fully and firmly on the mouth.